Welcome to Will's World, your will overall, powered by Third Gen Physical Therapy and Sports Science Institute.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, and whenever you're listening. Thanks for listening, and we're back with another one. Before we get started, please like, share, subscribe to all of the actual platforms that we're on. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Wherever you're looking for us, you can find us. And with that being said, let's get going. In today's episode, we're going to talk about let kids be kids. This is a sports related topic that was given to me by an actual person of mine that I actually hold in high regard. He's a great person, good guy, and he was talking about it from his perspective. So I'm gonna speak about it from my perspective, and I hopefully I can touch on some of the pieces that he talked about. And the reason that I think this is a big topic because we're in a particular time that kids are not allowed to be kids anymore. And reason that that's a big thing in the world of sports because of money. And as we all know, it has not changed, right? That is what puts us in places where we tend to make some decisions that are kind of sort of not really rational. But besides that, to each his own, right? So we're going to talk about three different things. Let me see. First and foremost, we're going to talk about how to allow them to have fun while they are young in sports. The second piece we're going to touch on, don't worry about if they will become the next Michael Jordan. And the last piece, remember when you were a kid. And the reason for that is because these three pillars or pieces of our conversation, I think, are constant talking points when it comes to the kids. So first and foremost, allow them to have fun while they are young in sports. And for me, when I think about this, I think about it in the form of let them play, let them enjoy themselves, let them try to find themselves, right? Let them have their moments. And within that, interject yourself where you realize that maybe there needs to be a lesson that we can learn or something we can build off of or something they may did not know. And I know some people look at it like, hey, kids should be able to celebrate, and dance and whatever. And I think that has a place too, for sure. But then it gets to a point where everything is a celebration for me against this person, and then the kid that you're going at or celebrating on, they have an emotional problem, and then that turns into a whole nother problem. And truth be told, I think the best thing I can say about that is that to each his own again. Me personally, when I was growing up and I was a kid, I didn't really celebrate. The reason I didn't really celebrate, I thought it was stupid. But that's just me though. The reason I thought it was stupid is because I had to go play the next play. like, like for me, like if I made a layup or shot a three or something, I better have 25 connected to that. It better be on the back end of it. But I'll be early. And I go out here and shoot a three, hit a three on I end the game with three. I'm gonna get booed. In football, same thing. Like I'm not doing a whole bunch of talking and celebrating. Like I'm putting pads on people. That's all I'm on. Like that's the only thing I was on. So for me, it's different. I can't use myself as an example because when I played sports, the fun for me was the win, the success I had within the game. So letting a kid, have fun while young in sports, I think it means different things for different people. Right now, we know we're in a world where everything is a Instagrammable moment. So as a result, everybody wants to, head ball, shooters and guns up and whatever, and that's cool. But my best advice is that be able to be accountable for everything you put out. So don't put none out and then you can't take what comes with it. Because when you're young, you're a kid, it looks a certain way, it feels a certain way. As you start to get a little bit older, like teenagers and high school and stuff, it has to be attached to something that actually makes it acceptable. You can't be a scrub out there and you shooting bow and arrows because you made 1 3 in the past 2 years. You can't be a scrub out there and throwing a scrap the seatbelt on, on an incomplete pass on the other side of the field and you the one giving up 200 yards a game. It's perspective. And I think that as you get older, that's when people have to interject themselves and be like, hey, man, that was cool, like, back then, but like, we're in a place now, you kind of got to, tone it down. But while they're young, man, let them run around and celebrate the soccer goal and the layup they made. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's real, But like I said, to each his own. Like, some people may not be with it, but I think that you only ever be a kid once. So while you're able to be so, and it's rational, within the world of like, hey, this makes sense. Like, they're 3 or 4, like they're 5 or 6, like, they're 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, nobody's gonna know if they're gonna go pro in the next couple of years. Nobody's gonna remember this. But if we can give them some type of actual, how can I say, this moment of feeling good about themselves, some confidence, then so be it. Second piece, don't worry about if they will become the next Michael Jordan or the next, Jerry Rice, the next, Chase, the next Joe Burrow, the next JJ. Like, uh, don't be worried about that. Because if I'm being honest with you, man, it's only so many people and kids in this world who have that ability. And that is something that you'll never know who's that, until later on. But the last piece is that don't put so much pressure on your kid, while they enjoy themselves. And as a result of that, let them find what sports they actually like and have an actual, passion for, something they want to do. Because when I was doing sports, for me, man, like, I played everything. Like, I was picking stuff, but I was picking stuff for different reasons. I try to play every single sport first and foremost because I enjoyed it and it was a great outlet for me. And I was aware of that at a very young age. Like, it was a great outlet, good thing for me to get involved in and not do something stupid, or, be able to, express myself without having to really worry about, always, being wrong or something like that. So when you was a kid, it was a good outlet. And then I like to travel. All right. I wanted to go to all the little different cities and places in the state, and and that was fun. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. And then last but not least, being able to just do some good, man. Like, achieve some and have a great result, and people praise you for it because they feel like it's a good thing, for them or for the school. That was cool when you were younger. And as you get older, you realize why you're really doing it. You're really doing it because hopefully you have some joy about it. Because I promise you, man, things can go left real quick. So don't worry about if they're the next Michael Jordan. There's no reason for that. Like, just to let them to kind of be in the moment and just support them. The biggest thing that you can do that, you know, when you have a kid that's excelling, just support them. And if you have a kid that's not excelling, support them. I get a lot of kids, man, like through training. I train different sports. That when they show up, they may not have the best talent, and I'm cool with it. I'm just cool with it. If you don't have the best talent, cool. What I really care about is just, are you doing this because you're trying to, find yourself, or you doing this because you've been forced to do? Like, what's your reason? Like, what's your why? And then if you're like, hey, I just enjoy doing it. Well, cool. Let's kind of fall in that space. And I take time to learn my athletes. Who are they? Like, who are they for real? Like, not talent wise, but as a person. Like, I'm gonna use this guy as an example. I know he won't mind, but I had a young kid. He was about 10, and when we first started training, he came across the court. I never met him before in my life, and he asked me, do I train? And he asked me, could I help him get better at basketball, because he wanted to get better. And it was very gripping for me, because I tell people all the time, my dream was never to train anything. Um, my dream was only to, heal, help people, do what I'm doing now for a living. And at the end of the day, when he said that, that made me realize that, this is tied into my purpose. So I need to help him. But I never cared about if he was going to be Mike. The only thing I cared about was trying to figure out who the kid was and how I could really help him. Whether we got good at basketball or not, cool. Because for me, I look at it from a standpoint of the kid has to settle him or herself and kind of figure out who they are, what they really have a passion about, what they're focused on, all those aspects. And the reason they have to do that is because if they don't do that, then what ends up happening is that, they kind of, have a lot of frustration and changes and stuff that happens, and they just never get a time to process anything. So when I met him, we were training one day, and I realized that he's very passionate and easily frustrated, very hard on himself. But I realized he was going through some stuff. And what it was is that, man, he just wanted to have some success. Like he just wanted to be able to celebrate something. And it take me back to, the thing of let kids be kids, because I was like, okay, if you want to have some success, then let me first get you on the right path, which is when you're angry or frustrated, you don't play well. You just don't. When you can harness that and put that into your focus and keep your demeanor a certain way to be able to never be too up, never be too down, but kind of be in the same place, you're pretty good. And somebody would ask me, how did I figure it out? Simple. I watched them play. I go to all my athletes' games. I watch them play. I can tell you pretty much every single one of my athletes' demeanors and their temperaments. And I can tell you the ones that are really not serious about it. And I tell them too. They're not serious about it, I just tell them. I'm not here to, waste your time, and I'm gonna be truthful because I have to establish a rapport with them. So when I say something to them or I go off because they did something that was totally not right, whatever, then they know it's coming from a place of love, man. Like I'm not here because I think you can go first round. I'm here because, when I was your age, I know exactly why you did that because I took time to learn you. So I kind of got a good idea of who you are. But when he started harnessing his actual frustration, his anger, he was having some success. Fast forward, we're 3, 4 years in, he's a thousand times better basketball player than he started. And he has a passion, but he has an authenticity and a genuineness about himself that actually allows him to be successful now. And so he knows who he is. He's very confident in who he is and what matters. And him and I have had conversation throughout the years. And you know what it helps me do? It helps me remember when I was a kid. So when I say remember when you were a kid, remember the things you didn't have or the things that you did have and what they made you feel like and how they helped you or who helped you and what they said and what they didn't say. And did you see them in the stands? Did it do something for you? Or did you not see them? And, because at the end of the day, that's how you're able to get to the kids' level and be able to help. Understand when they're just being a kid and let them be it. And understand when they needed some correction, some guidance, and guide them. Because when I was a kid, you know, if I had a person that was like me, helping me, I will want them to be what I try to be to all my players. Listen, be hard on them, care about them, support them, love them, be all that in the same person. And not try to be right or wrong. I'm just trying to be the best person I could be for them. Because at the end of the day, it's just a game. We play a game, and the game we play is a kid's game. So, whenever they get to a place where the kids' game starts to become more than a game, becomes a business, or becomes profitable, I hope they can remember the time when you allowed them to be a kid. And hopefully, you built up enough rapport and trust that when you say something, it means more to them than anything they can counter going forward. So whenever they get off the path of not being a kid anymore, or not understanding when it's time to be one and when it's time to, be an adult or whatever, they can reach out to you. You can be genuinely honest with them, and they know that you don't have any underlying thing in mind except helping them or guiding them to get to the next place. I hope today's talk helped some people, man. If it did, great. And if it didn't, hopefully you know somebody who it can help and you share it with them. We do this stuff because, some things matter. a lot more than I think people give him credit for. And as a result, we have to keep doing these things because at some point in time, we're not going to be able to talk and have these conversations. But until then, it's very important to always remind people, man, when you were a kid, what it meant to you to be a kid, what it meant to you, people to support you, but also if you have kids, what it means to allow them to just be kids at some time, and then allow yourself to interject yourself when you know it's necessary. Besides that, I hope you have a blessed one. I'll catch you in the next one.